I'm Thom, and I've been drinking whiskey for a long time. I know what I like, and I know what I don't. I know what I'm willing to spend my money on, and what I think is a waste. My sister Patsy has never agreed with any of that. This is Whiskey Face, where I pick the whiskey,
I think I'm sweating now.
and Patsy tells me exactly what she thinks of it. Welcome back to Whiskey Face. I'm Thom.
I'm Patsy.
And today we're off to the races. As you may know, today is the 152nd running of the Kentucky Derby at Churchill Downs in Louisville, Kentucky. So today we are going to have Patsy taste a Woodford Reserve whiskey. Now, Woodford Reserve is the official whiskey of the Kentucky Derby. And so you can see I have 3 bottles that are special edition bottles for the Kentucky Derby, where Woodford hires an artist each year to do a painting unique to that bottle. I also have Woodford's 2023 Distillery Series release of Toasted Oak 4-grain whiskey. And that's what we're going to have Patsy taste today. Now, my mom and I happened to be at the distillery when this was released. And so we were able to get 4 bottles because that was the purchase limit for 2 people. And I'm currently on bottle number 3. So you can see, if you watched last week, I gave Patsy a little more whiskey to try. This week I'm not going to give her quite as much because I don't want this to go to waste.
I like that you think me tasting it is a waste.
Just if you don't like it. So this is a 4-grain whiskey, and in this case that means it has Woodford's bourbon, a wheated whiskey, which we talked about Maker's Mark last week being a wheated bourbon, a malted rye whiskey, and a malted barley whiskey. And those are the 4 grains that go in here. This is going to be a little spicier as a result.
Okay.
You're going to get some of the same nose off of this Woodford as you did off Maker's Mark, and that it's probably going to have some of the vanilla and some of the oak. But I think you're going to get some spice too. Maybe some cinnamon, maybe some deep plum, some stone fruits. I get a lot of plum off that deep sweetness you'd think of in a plum.
Okay.
And then when you taste it, you're going to get a lot more heat than you did off the Makers because it has rye in it.
Okay.
But you're also going to get the complexity that the 4 different grains bring. So you'll get the stone fruit. For me, instead of plum on the palate, I get an apricot. I think it's a little brighter as you're drinking it.
Okay.
And you're still going to get some of that vanilla and that cinnamon and maybe even a little cayenne as the heat hits you.
I'm so excited.
Indeed. So with that, if you're ready, we can have you do the tasting.
Okay. While I get to taste this,
Yeah.
didn't you tell me something about some lady? Was it at this one?
That's a really good point. So Woodford Reserve's Master Distiller is Elizabeth McCall. And she joined Woodford in 2023, and she selected this distillery release. She has worked with other distilleries since then. She's still the Master Distiller at Woodford. But hopefully we'll get to have some of her other collaborations as we continue in the podcast. I mentioned she was the Master Distiller. She was the first female at Woodford to be the Master Distiller and is one of the first female Master Distillers in the world.
Oh, okay. So this one is a deeper smell. It's so potent. So this one's it's still very strong, but it's a little bit deeper a smell, I think, than the last one.
Like I said, I think Maker's is a lighter whiskey, and this is, I mean, it's a darker colored whiskey to begin with, so.
Okay. You feel this one just when the fumes hit your mouth. Oh. That's a lot more peppery.
Definitely some rye in there, right?
I'm sure if that's what you want to call pepper, you can call pepper rye. Oh. So I tried to do what you said and take a little bigger sip.
But now try a second one, and then we'll judge it.
It did what I said, and I can feel the bigger sip all the way down. A bigger one? Another
Just
one?
one more. This is where you'll really start to get the flavors.
So excited. Maybe some vanilla.
A little spice.
Woo! Woo! You felt that all the way back my neck. Woo!
Well, she's,
This is
Getting
where
a little
the term
over-
the vapors comes from.
a little overheated here. I think from a face standpoint, we're probably gonna stay at an offended, just like we were last week, a level 4.
It's a different
A different type of offense, maybe.
feel.
But
Different.
I'm not seeing much less reaction on the face there.
I think I'm sweating now. Pretty sure the back of my hair is curling. Okay.
It's for the redemption round this week. You can see I don't have the whiskey face scale rock glass we used last week. I instead have this metal covered thimbleful glass. It was my grandfather's. And I was taught to make mint juleps in these glasses. And we're going to do a mint julep because it is the classic cocktail of the Kentucky Derby. And I think, Patsy, you did some research on this.
I did. Do you know that it became the official drink of the Derby in 1939 because people were stealing so many of the water glasses that they decided to make a signature drink and a signature glass and charge people more so they kept the glass. I think that's funny.
And it worked because here we are 90,
Okay.
almost 90 years later, still making
Mix that up.
mint juleps. So the mint julep, like I said, official drink of the Kentucky Derby. Today at Churchill Downs, they will serve roughly 120,000 mint juleps. So apparently a pretty popular drink. There are different ways you can make it. And I think, Patsy, you've been told it should be muddled. The mint should be muddled, and that's a very traditional
woman at the
way.
farmer's market said you should put the mint and the sugar in the bottom of the glass and only muddle it with the handle of a wooden spoon.
And that, I think, is a very traditional Southern way to make it. Definitely appreciate that. We have a little less time today, so I'm going to use simple syrup instead of sugar, just like I did in the old-fashioned last week. And I already have most of the mint in there, but instead of muddling the mint, I bruised it. And there's a reason why. If you bruise the mint, you just release sort of the essence of the oils, and it keeps it with a little bit more of the sweetness. And if you muddle it and break it up a lot, then you're gonna get a bitter flavor out of the mint. And so I don't want that. So I'm gonna bruise the mint, and you can bruise it a couple different ways. I have a couple different leaves here to show you. One, the way I like to do it is you can just hit it on your hand a few times, drop it in. Another, and you can smell that mint already. Another, just
you can.
put it in your hand, and you can clap it together a few times and drop that in.
I do like the smell of mint.
Mint is very fresh. Then we're going to add the sugar. You could use just regular granulated sugar if you wanted to do instead of this. And then we add ice. Now, if you remember in the old-fashioned, the ice was a single cube because we want the dilution to be slower in the old-fashioned. But here, we're going to add crushed ice. And we're going to put it right on top. Smash it in there. And then we're going to pour the whiskey over it. Now, we had 2 ounces in the old-fashioned last week. We have 2.5 ounces. this week for the mint julep. But as we pour it over the crushed ice, it's going to start diluting immediately. So we get more water into the drink from the crushed ice. And then we'll stir that all up.
Do you really think the water makes that much difference?
Absolutely. If you were drinking whiskey neat and added a couple drops of water to it, it would completely change the profile of the whiskey. We'll try that on a later day.
Oh, I'm so glad I gave you an idea.
I forgot my garnish. Garnish is so important.
So I can poke my eye out.
See if we redeem it.
It smells better with the mint. I like when you add these things and make it smell different.
So there's a positive. It's hard to imagine. She's so hesitant when she drinks. Better?
Oh.
I don't think
It
she
is
liked
more
it.
tolerable.
Oh, but more tolerable. Okay, so we're getting there. Maybe this is just regret, or maybe we actually moved. She used a magic word. Down to the tolerable phase.
What does that mean? Like I can
Like
actually
a level
drink
2,
it?
like you could actually drink that.
With a gun to my head.
Okay, so we're not going to probably get it tolerable. We'll just say regret, but I think that's an improvement. We have our first redemption round where we've actually seen Patsy have an improvement,
Yep.
even if she's still tearing.
Yep. But it didn't, I don't think it curled the back of my hair like it did when it was straight.
Small
So-
steps, small steps.
It might be the ice. Yeah, wanting something to drink, and I keep going, no, don't do that.
You can have all of that. It's great stuff.
Could I?
I'm going to try it. I love mint juleps. Very nice. Very good. Hopefully you enjoyed a trip to the races. Next week, you have to come back for a real test where Patsy tries a 100% rye whiskey.
No, that's what you said was the pepper in this one.
She's picking up, isn't she?
I'm learning.
We'll see how she does when we do that next week. I mentioned we don't have the merchandise to show you this week, but feel free to look for it in our description and in the notes to find more about Patsy's radio show, so you can learn how she is grateful for most things in life, even if not for a mint julep. We'll see you next week.
Bye.